welcome to Assen in the Netherlands for the 73rd edition of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations. My name is Paul Malin. Jeff Emig alongside me. We will be joined by Jason Thomas a little later on for the qualifying races for the Motocross of Nations. But first up on MXGP TV, we have the YZ bLU FIM Europe Cup Super Finale. We have a 65 and 85 race today and a 125 race tomorrow in the morning. And these guys have already been on track. They had a free practice and a time practice, 36 riders. And there you see right in the north of the country is where we are this weekend. Jeff Emig, so far we've been blessed with the weather. We saw a quick weather graphic there. It should be raining by now, but somehow we've managed to avoid the weather here.
Yeah, and the great thing for these little guys and girls here that would be riding these Yamaha YZ65s, what an incredible opportunity. Can you imagine the atmosphere that they're experiencing here at this age? This really takes me back because the first year that Yamaha made what is now the 65, it was a 50.
Yeah.
And that would have been 1980. I actually rode Yamahas.
I had one as well.
Year. Yeah. Yeah. So incredible. I'm telling you, this track here, it's all sand. It's kind of hard packed underneath, but as you can see on the lower side of your screen, it was hard packed and kind of flat to begin with. Now it's getting rough, and that sand is starting to loosen up on top, and it's going to gobble up these little 65s.
Anyway, let's take a look at how they finished in time practice earlier. The local rider, Dex Koika, younger brother of Dave Koika, on pole. And then we have YZ65cc from Latvia, the Finnish rider, Victor Lipale, Freddie Bartlett from Sweden. Sounds very English, that name, doesn't it? But Frederick Ron Stamper of Denmark, and then Nicolo Manini, Simon Evenditch, Danny Coote, Mick Kennedy, Alex Lane, and the rest of the guys and girls you see on screen there. 36 riders, and the way that the bLU Cup works, they ride their own national championship, so the 65cc championship, and basically the best Yamaha riders within that championship from each nation qualify. This is the super finale, and the winner will be given European Championship support next year at the European Championship round. There is Dex Koika. He is the guy that qualified on pole from the Netherlands, and he was pretty rapid as well, 2.5 seconds quicker than his nearest rival from Latvia, YZ65cc.
And so this is a standalone super final.
Yeah.
With no previous points attached to it. They had to qualify through the different events to get here. So this is the best of the best that we're looking at. We'll have an 85cc race after this, and then tomorrow morning, like Paul mentioned, the 125. So the best of the young riders here in Europe are coming together for these Yamaha bLU Super Finals. Yeah, and it might have been that they finished third in the championship, but because they were the first Yamaha rider, they would have been, the first pick that Sweden would have sent to this. So anyway, we've got the one thing about the Motocross of Nations, Jeff, the fans turn out in all kinds of get up and go. They put the flags on. They, it's a big costume affair here, isn't it? Well, it is for your countrymen there. The first crazies that we see on MXGP TV are British. What's the chances? Right? Imagine that.
Anyway, Nicolo Manini there from Italy.
All got their roll-offs on. You're going to need plenty of pulls on the roll-offs. If you run tear-offs, you better be stacking multiple stacks of laminates on there, because it looks nice right now. We see the sun's out there, but the rain has been blowing through, and it would stop, it would rain a little more, and that's pretty much what we're going to experience here in Assen all weekend long. A little bit windy right now, too.
Yeah, the fly rates in 15-second board up then. Just a one-race format this weekend, because we do have those 3 support classes. Obviously, we've got tiny number boards, so it's going to be difficult to see. But our man on pole position up the inside there, Dex Koika, gate 1 on the left as we look down. A completely revamped racetrack here. He doesn't make a good jump. In fact, he's hanging off the bike now as he passes our commentary position, and he's easily into the lead over the whole shot line there, Jeff. And what do you think of this first corner?
Yeah, he got through that gearbox quickly, like we noticed there, being on the far right on the starting gate. Didn't come off that metal grid that well, but I mean, let's face it, he was 3 seconds a lap faster than Kubilins in qualifying. But the track now is going to be quite a bit different than what it was like when they were the first riders on the track.
8 o'clock
It
this
was
morning.
nice and smooth. None of these lines, none of these ruts, bumps, berms, anything were there. So you can see they're going to be tiptoeing around, trying to really get a feel for what this track is like now, because it's not going to look anything like earlier.
Just utilizing the new cable cam here. We saw that at Lommel and Teufelstal a few years ago, but this is your man who leads the way, Dex Kuiper. Just behind him is Jakobs Kubelins. Third is Nicola Manini, the 517, who we saw on the grid there. Aaron Husson is in fourth place. Then we've got Ika Diaz Arnal from Spain, and Freddie Bartlett of Sweden. Then we've got No Zimstein, Ophir Zemak, and then Ratboya Carlot, and Mick Kennedy, Danny Sankoff, and Thailand Legain. They are your top few riders at the moment as they work their way around. You can see how the sand actually, Jeff, we were watching, because we've had on and off rain throughout the night, the sand has firmed up somewhat. You imagine going to a beach and you've got that nice sand at one end, and where the ocean kind of comes up on shore, it goes very, very firm. That's how hard it was this morning, but it's starting to loosen up now with this wind and this dry weather. So it's going to be very grabby on the front end. Even for the Nations riders later on, it's going to be a different racetrack to what they trained on this morning.
Now, Paul, tell me if I'm wrong in this, but these are all spec bikes that Yamaha provided for this event?
I think this initially it was. They were on their own bikes, but now, they were on provided bikes by Yamaha, all stock. But I think now we have, is it our leader?
Our leader's down?
Our leader is down. Kuiper has gone down. So we have a new leader. But these look like, these are their own race bikes, because some of them sound completely different. Like his bike, Kuiper, sounded completely different as he was up on the pegs in practice down past the start straight this morning. It sounded like a very, very rapid motorcycle. Well, 12 minutes plus 2 laps this duration. He had a good advantage over the first split point, and he just threw it away. But this guy here, who is the new leader, Kubelins, is he going to make the most?
So earlier today, when the Motocross of Nations stars, athletes, got out onto the track for the very first time, the first practice was for the MXGP category, and Jeffrey Hurlings, not surprising, was the quickest with 1 minute 41 seconds. That's what it took him to get around the track. Oh. So right now, well, we're not going to get a full lap right now, but I'm going to say it's 3 minutes or more for these
2:17 initially.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
that was their first lap, but we're about to hit the line now. Jakobs Kubelins coming out of the final turn, this left-hander just ahead in that left corner screen, and it'll be interesting to see. He was a 2:26 over the line just a moment ago, so he has the advantage over Freddie Bartlett, and third is Nicola Manini. And where is Dex Kuiper, who did fall from the lead? I think he's going to be in around about 5th or 6th place, but maybe even lower down. Yeah, so goes through in 9th place, and he lost 23.5 seconds in that fall. Here's a 2:92. Freddie Bartlett, he's in 2nd position at the moment. So the Swede having a good ride. We can see how heavy the 65s, putting the power down at the rear wheel. I'm assuming these bikes come with scoops as well. Even
I'm
at
not
that,
sure, but you can tell this these little machines. What you notice a lot is they hit like a soft spot and they knife the front end, and it really slows down the momentum. So the important part is what we're seeing Jacob Kubelins right now. What he's done a really good job is keeping the front wheel light, keeping his weight back, and trying to just keep that front wheel light and not really. If you get too much weight on the front end, you hit that soft dirt, that's when you really bury it, and it just stalls out your momentum. So the Latvian, Jakobs Kubelins, leading the way then. So obviously no stranger to sand. We've got the racetrack there. Kegums is in sand. We've been there in 2014 for the Nations. And Paul Jonas is also a good sand rider. That was a 777 of Victor Lepalai of Finland. He was your 3rd quickest qualifier. And at the time, he was in 14th. So running pretty far back compared to his qualifying time. This is Kuiper, I think, going around the outside. So just paddling it right there. Yeah, quick pull of the tear-offs. Not taking the chance that the weather might come in. He's just gone for the tear-offs. But look at the flag in the background there, the Polish flag. Yeah, look at that big water hole. Oh, he goes down right in the mud hole. Oh, and it hasn't rained since well, about 2 hours ago, I think, is when the last time we had any rain.
Yeah, but it was just like a brief shower, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we've been having those throughout the day, a 5-minute, 10-minute shower, and then all of a sudden, somebody flicks the switch, it turns off, the sun comes out, the wind stays high, and that's basically doing the track a world of good because it's keeping moisture in the ground as well, but at the same time, you know, it's not getting too wet. Perfect for the 65s. Wave Jello's on the, what used to be the finish line jump here, Jeff. So the track undergoing quite a major transformation over the last 12 months.
Yeah, 312 was Zumstein. He was running 6th, 7th.
And
going to kick him down a little further.
Kuika making a move up the inside of the 199 of Boya Carlot.
So that's going to put him up inside the top 10.
You would imagine.
Oh, he loses his
position. Just goes to show, though, doesn't it? You can be the fastest man on track. You can pull the whole shot. Doesn't guarantee you the points. So where is he now? He's over the line in... oh, that was Simon Iffendich, actually, 249. Kuika is up to 7th place.
Oh, he's off the side. Almost got into the barricades. I'm not sure the number on that. He's on our left.
Just behind the 27. So it would have been Freddie Ron Stamper in 5th place. The second rider in shot. The track a lot wider than it was in the last 3-4 editions that we've been here. Obviously got those waves, people doubling at the end of there in the Premier classes, Motocross of Nations, but here we are, 27 in 4th position. Off here, Casey Semak, riding from Israel.
Nicolo Manini is just in front of this group, the number 517. He's about 20 seconds off the lead, a little more than 20 seconds. That's this group that we're looking at right here that is pretty much 3rd, 4th, 5th. Uh-oh, the 211 gets off in the mud.
Yeah, Lasse Stentoft Knudsen from Denmark. Looks like he'd been down a while trying to leg his way through there. That's a great shot. When that's full tomorrow, that'll be, or even later on this afternoon, that'll be a great shot there, panning across the crowd. Obviously, a lot of these guys taking a bit of break.
They're coming across the start straight there, just wide open, probably reaching top speed on these little 65s.
So we've got 2 laps complete at the moment. Jakob Skubelins from Latvia and then Freddie Bartlett from Sweden. And there is the 517 of Nicola Manini. He's in 3rd place at the moment. 20 seconds down on your race leader last time around. And a bit of a bobble there from the rider in the background. Was that the 27? Not sure if it was. It might have been. But 3.5 minutes to go. And Nicola Manini, look at that, his little chubby little face there on the graphic. These guys would have experienced what these nations riders experience, having their mugshot for TV, their name on a TV screen, graphics. He comes over the line in 3rd place. And then Freddie Ron Stamper moved up to 4th because Semak making a mistake. Dex Kuika up into 5th place now, but he's about 4 seconds down. So he's still putting in some decent lap times, but throwing away that opportunity on the opening lap. Here's your rider in 3rd place. Where's the leader, actually? Jakob Skubelins. He's about 9 seconds further up the track.
Dex Kuika, the 484, who had your whole shot and crashed, has now worked his way up to 6th. The lap time right now that he's throwing down is a 2:28. Our leaders are top 2 at a 2:28. And everyone in between him.
This is your race leader. This is your race leader here. He was just wiping his left hand a moment ago as he went down that long straight. So I wonder whether he's made a mistake. Man down. Can't see him to the side of those giant-sized Cherbury boards there, but getting it a little bit cross-rutted there coming out of that turn. This is back onto the start straight. We were stood up in the skybox area during the practice sessions there. When that gets chewed up coming out of that little left-right left combination, you get some pretty gnarly holes up here. Looks like they've flattened them out though for the kids.
Still our leader. He's gonna have countdown clock will not be to 0 by the time he gets around here, so
normally with
another lap until the board comes out.
Normally with the Superfinale that we have here, the Superfinal, they take what, the top 3 or 4, top 5 plus a couple of wild cards just to go to a master class, which in the past has been with David Philipparts, but this year it's going to be with the Yamaha guys of Paul Ann, Siwa, and Tonus. And that'll be later on in the year, and they will give them some pointers, and but the coaching staff, they will decide which way which rider will pick up the support for the European Championship next year. So even though it's Jekabs Kubelins who's leading the way, we did see how fast Dex Kuica was in the time training session. So will he still be able to navigate himself a ride for next year, who is now to 4th, by the way. He's found his way past Manini and Semak and Husson.
Well, the problem is, though, Paul, is Kuica just, he just put himself at such a disadvantage when he went down. His lap times right now are fantastic. He's still running a 2:30, quicker than anyone else on the course, but he's 32 seconds off of the lead. And we've got about 2.5 laps to go. The countdown clock's going to be at 0. Next time they come around, if it's our leader, he's going to get the 2-lap board. I mean, if it's our leader. If it's Kubelins, the leader will get the 2-lap board first. That's in my experience. That's how it usually goes.
Normally.
But you know what I'm saying. So if it's Jekabs Kubelins, he'll get the 2-lap board.
It was either that or every time he comes around, he automatically gets a 2-lap board, whether he's leading or not. But I knew where you were going with that.
Yeah.
But,
look at that water hole on the left, or the right there, rider's left.
Just not able to drain or dissipate at all throughout the course of the day. And obviously, with the rainstorms that we have had, brief as they have been, it did come down quite a deluge. But we just was following Freddie Bartlett there for a while. 2.92. He's in 2nd position, the Swede. About 9.5 seconds down on your race leader, Jekabs Kubelins, last time around. There is the 2.92 in 2nd place. Got about 30 seconds over the guy in 3rd, Freddie Ryan Stamper. So the number 80 of Stamper from Denmark will be hoping to emulate the likes of TKO, Thomas Kjær Olsen, as a professional racer. A little bit later on, there he is in 3rd place. What is he? About 5 seconds ahead of Kuica, and was about a second a lap slower. So he might whittle it down to within a couple of seconds. Kuica, if he's to want to get on the podium, he's going to have to pull it out of the bag here in the final 2 laps.
2 laps to go for our leader. He's had a fantastic race. Let's see, still waiting for 2nd place to come by. So he's got a 12-second lead over Bartlett. Freddie Bartlett's running 2nd. And Stampe, and then Kuica. Let's see what the gap is. It was around 30 seconds last lap. Now it's 28, 30, 32. So all of our top 4 riders last lap were right on a 2-minute, 30-second lap time. So everyone's kind of evened out.
Look at the first lap, though. 2:26.9 for our race leader, Jekabs Kubelins. So 2 to go. He's trying to adjust himself there. I think that's probably what the problem was when I saw him flail his left hand behind him. He's obviously either forgot to do his pants up, or he's wearing his brother's pants. If he has one.
That was a little odd.
Working their way back behind the skybox in the start area. They'll go right, then left, then right, back onto the start straight. Then they're about 7 corners away from taking the 1 lap to go board. The finish line you'll see just the other side of the skybox over to our left now. .160 just going through there a moment ago. Just outside of the points, but Mio Onel Rutiainen of Finland doing his best just to get around. But it's Kubelins who leads the way. He's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him, Jeff, as he enters the final lap in just 2 or 3 corners time.
Yeah, but with these little bikes, it's so important to just, because it's so rough, to me, you got to carry the momentum, but you want to take the shortest line possible. If you have to go wide, you have to carry so much more momentum and so much more speed to make up for the extra distance that you're going to travel. And if you can just hug those tight lines and ride the shortest way around, to me, seems like the right strategy. So there's the 1 lap to go.
Yeah, and the track, as we said, completely different to what it was this morning when they were doing 2:17s. That last lap was a 2:30. So almost. Almost 17 seconds longer than it was first thing this morning.
You see that blue flag flying there. If you're not familiar with this style of racing, the flag gets waved to a slower rider that is getting lapped. So the leader is coming around and passing the rider, and that's just a signal to the rider that's getting lapped that the leader's coming by. Hold your line, be safe.
But going to go left over the pyramid jump down past pit lane for the final time. He'll get the board signal from his crew, I'm sure. He's opened up a 15-second advantage.
Mom or dad.
Yeah.
Right?
Normally.
They're your sponsor. They finance everything. They wash the bike. They clean the bike. They work on the bike.
Except Yamaha buy the meals here this weekend.
That's right. That's right. It's a nice deal. Well, he was second quickest in qualifying. Started second. Got a little lucky. The Koiker, Dex Koiker going down. And he has parlayed that into, if he can get through this next half a lap.
Koiker back down to 5th, so losing a position on the final lap to Casey Zemek. So down the start straight for the final time, wringing every ounce of power out of that Yamaha YZ65. Doesn't go to the inside through turn 2, opts to take that little bit of extra momentum, as you said, Jeff, because obviously that little crest on the inside, we've got wave flags there for a fallen rider through that little right kick before what used to be the old Monster Energy finish line jumps, now the iPhone jump, landing on the brakes into a tight right. So they're not restricted by the confines of the start straight and the pit lane area on this Aston racetrack. So behind the Parts Europe hospitality stand there, it got a little bit narrow last year, so they've opened it up. And they had about 3 or 4 lanes in this part of the racetrack alone. Now you see there's just 1 out and 1 back, so you're able to go a little bit wider. But into the final corner, Jakobs Kubelins. He took advantage of a mistake from Koiker on the first lap, and he comes home to win the race. Doesn't automatically guarantee him the place or the support for the 65cc European Championship next year, but he'll have to go to the Masterclass a little later on in the year now with the factory Yamaha squad.
Well, that's a great feeling, and for the rider out of Latvia, the young rider out of Latvia, you got to think that the MXON team, Paul Jonas and the rest of the guys, be thinking, okay, that's 1 win. It's a nice way to start this weekend off. First winner of the weekend.
Jaden Anderson there from Scotland, the number 33, under the watchful eye of Stuart Flockhart, the Disco 70 gang in Scotland, just tipping over there. But here is Lisa Leyland. She is with Jakobs Kubelins.
Jakobs Kubelins, congratulations. You took advantage on that first lap. You now go on to the Masterclass. Tell us about this race.
I don't speak.
We're trying to find a translator.
Thanks my dad, family, trainers, GG Racer. Thanks Robert Just, August Just, and my grandma.
Okay. Thank you.
So Robert and August just there, been renowned riders in Latvia, live very close to the Kegum circuit. Obviously in the background there for Jakobs Kubelins, our winner of the 65cc Superfinale here at Assen.
Even got the thank you to Granny in there.
Right at the end.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. But I like how he said, I don't speak, and then actually spoke perfectly.
Yeah,
so
it was not bad.
pay attention in school, kids. English is going to be a much needed language for you as you get older and pass through the ranks.
Well, that was cool. That was great watching these kids, and I believe the age limit on this would be 11, correct, Paul?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
So 11 and under, and what an opportunity for these young people to be out there riding motocross. I mean, this track, it looks gnarly on a 450, but on a 65, some of these young kids found out just how difficult it could be in these conditions. And this is just the beginning of what's sure to be a fantastic weekend of racing here in Assen.
So let's give you official confirmation then of that YZ65 race. Jacobs Kubelins was your winner, and it's also going to be the championship as well, or the overall statistic, shall we say, because just a one-race format for them. Kubelins, your overall winner. Freddie Bartlett second, Freddie Ranstamper third, Ophir Casey Zemak fourth, Dex Kuika fifth, Nicola Manini sixth, Aaron Houston, Noy Zumstein, and Caden Bailey. Then we had Rafael Boyer-Carlo, Mick Kennedy, Danny Root, Cody De Beer, Alex Lane, Artu Savola, Victor Lapalais, Tilan Lagain, Simon Ifandich, Neil Pilares, and Danny Sankoff. They were your point scorers. I'm wondering if that's the best seat in the house a little later on. Got a roof on it.
With that section there. Covered area.
Don't see too many umbrellas up there at the moment. But it is very, very breezy. But the YZ bLU Crew FIM Europe Cup Super Finale podium we're getting ready for now. And third overall, Frederik Ranstamper. Didn't see too much of him from Denmark, but he put in a good performance. He qualified in 5th this morning in the time training session, so he was always going to be considered a podium threat. And second overall, Freddie Bartlett from Sweden. And he looks pleased with his work, doesn't he? And he also qualified in 4th place. So wait to see our race winner, Jacobs Kubelins. Here he is from Latvia. Took advantage of that mistake from Dex Kuika. And it was he who went on to win the race. And this guy here, Tylen Lagain, is the youngest rider in the field, and he'll get a nice little plate as well. So good to see the youngsters out on track. The French rider. So I wonder who he'll be supporting this weekend, Jeff.
For sure.
So David Longo, Youthstream CEO, on hand to deliver the plates to the riders here for their hard-earned efforts. Martin de Graaf from the Netherlands, also up on the podium, doing his bit, the FIM Europe president. 7 laps they managed around that racetrack, Jeff.
7 brutal laps. I mean,
and Paolo Pavesio,
treacherous,
handing the gold plate. Not had too far to travel from Amsterdam, the marketing division manager from Yamaha Motor Europe NV. And also handing the youngest rider plate to Tylen Lagain. But the winner from Latvia, and I'm sure we'll get the national anthem. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah. Your top three here this weekend then, the YZ Blue Crew FIM Europe Cup Super Finale here at Assen in the Netherlands. Jacobs Kubelins of Latvia, second overall from Sweden. Freddie Bartlett, third. Frederik Ryan Stamper, of course. They will head to the Masterclass, maybe with a couple of wild cards as well. And at the end of that, they will be determined who will pick up that Yamaha Europe support at the 65cc European Championship round next year. Of course, quick podium photo for them as well. We will be off shortly, but we will return at 1:40 local time, and that will be for the 85cc race for this Blue Crew Cup Super Finale. So that will be in just around 9 minutes time. So just having their little moment of fame there. I wonder how daunted these riders are as well. You know, obviously the crowd a little bit diluted because they've gone off to watch or walk through the paddock and grab some lunch and all the rest of it, but it's still quite a daunting prospect, isn't it, Jeff? You know, the grandstands all the way around the racetrack on the left-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine visually what that's like with all those people when you come down through the main star of the grandstands, and just all those people on the left-hand side, and the structures, and just the significance of this, and knowing that all of their heroes will be racing on the exact same race course, so they have that opportunity. So pretty cool of Yamaha to put on these events.
Well, look, they've got their medals, more family photos. Jeff and I will be back in about 4.5 minutes time, so we'll see you then for the 85cc race. Don't go away.